Joining us for our Emmys Costume Designers panel is Leigh Leverett from Patsy and Loretta. Hi, Leigh. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me with all these wonderful people.
Anytime. Well, how did you come on board Patsy and Loretta, and were you a fan of either of them?
I was a big fan of Patsy Cline. I knew a lot of Loretta's music. I was also a fan of hers. I'm not that big on country music, even though I probably am more so now. But it's one of those where, you just get the call, and I got very excited because, it's Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn. And so I was excited.
So where do you start with? I guess it's a biopic. It's a biopic of their friendship, at least. So where do you start when it's fact based? And I know their daughter, both of their daughters, were producers on it.
They were.
Yeah.
You just you get into the research. You see, that we did a lot. We recreated a lot of moments that there are pictures of, and a lot of research on. So we just pretty much started looking at all the different plot points from the script that we needed to, match as much as we could and see what we could find and everything. And then there's a lot of just everyday stuff that we just tried to get kind of the feel of their everyday looks and stuff like that.
How closely did you want to replicate, like, I think especially Patsy's wardrobe, because we see her, she's famous when the movie starts already, and we see her performing the most. And she has more of a fashionable wardrobe than Loretta does, especially when it starts. So did you want to replicate it as close and exacting as possible?
Well, you have to, I think I was doing it about the same time that Sarah and them were doing theirs. So there weren't a lot of clothes out there at the costume houses. So you have to find what you can find and in the looks, and just try and, get things. She wore a lot of pants and little shoes and little blouses. So we tried to do that, but then she also wore skirts and jackets and all kinds of things. But we did try to make her a little more on period and a little bit, more sophisticated, and kind of kept Loretta a little bit more like, she was just coming into this world and wasn't quite sure of herself.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of like flannel and like mom wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many costumes did you guys make yourselves, and how many did you guys source?
Well, we didn't have a ton of time. We had a very short prep. So we definitely made like the Patsy cowgirl costumes. We had one of the ladies that worked at the Patsy Cline Museum in Nashville. She helped us out with that and made the fabulous, her early looking cowgirl outfits and stuff like that. And we made a few other little bits and pieces, like some of Loretta's homemade dresses, because in the beginning of her career, she hand sewed her own dresses and stuff. So we made some of that. And then the rest, we just tried to find. I found a fantastic dress for Patsy when she goes to Vegas. It's a black beaded, very chic, very sleek dress. I found it on Etsy, and he walked right into it. We couldn't even believe it. We put it on. We didn't think it was going to fit, zipped it up, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So
I was wondering, I was like, was that a recreation or like an original? Because it was really striking. Like,
yeah, no, I just,
it's from Etsy.
It's from Etsy of all places. So yeah, and we didn't even have to do any alterations on it. I mean, she literally walked right into it.
That's so. But was there like any particular piece that was the hardest to recreate or find?
I looked for one particular jacket for her that I had seen. It was kind of a leather jacket that I wanted to use for just in some of her traveling things. And I never could find anything that was close enough that we could even, change it up ourselves, because that was a leather work. And like I said, we didn't have a very long prep period. So, but a lot of the stuff, Megan's really cute. Megan played Patsy and everything, and she just walked into everything. So everything looked cute on her no matter what we did. So it made it very easy.
I loved, like, sort of, I guess it's like an inverse evolution, but as with their careers and like their clothing, as like Loretta gets more famous, you know, she wears like fancier stuff, and Patsy, like, she's still very fashionable, but she's wearing more, you know, like this like crop pants and like the sweaters. So did you keep that, like, the arc of like their careers and like their friendship in mind when you were designing for the whole movie?
Yeah, well, we were trying to show that that Patsy was kind of mentoring Loretta. So she as it gets in the later years, she is, you know, moving a little forward and progressing in her look and trying to, you know, wear makeup and start wearing heels, because that's a big thing. She didn't even know how to wear heels when she first came into the whole thing. And so it's really showing how they were friends, and the whole, you know, Patsy had been famous, she was her mentor, and, you know, it shows in her trying to, you know, help her out and become a little more glamorous.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I noticed was in a lot of, especially like their important scenes together, like right after they meet, and then like later on when Patsy tells her about her family, there was a lot more pink in their clothing. Like, did you use that as like a mutual color between them?
Well, yes, in a way, because it's by then they were very, like, they were friends, you know, so they were very sweet with each other. So pink is a sweet color, you know, and it's a very, you know, happy, hopeful color. So it was, you know, it was a good color for the two of them to kind of, yeah, share basically throughout. You know, that was their bonded color, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How did you guys come up with the lace dress that Patsy wears? She wears a couple different colored versions of it.
There's a couple of pictures of her in a really iconic dress, that in some of the things that are at the Grand Ole Opry and stuff. So I just was really looking for anything remotely like it, and I found one of them, the beautiful blue one with the blue sash and stuff. And like I said, luckily for me, Megan just walked right into everything. So it all looked, she would put things on and we'd just be like, wow, that just looks amazing. So, you know, we actually probably had more clothes than we needed for her because everything looked so fantastic.
Was there anything, I guess, anything you had to alter for Megan at all? Everything just perfect?
We had to do a few things, but for the most part, she just looked the part just all the way around.
Well, at the end of the movie, there's this kind of sequence after Patsy dies. It's like her ghost coming and they perform together. So how did you go about dressing them for that scene?
Well, there are a few of the kind of ghost scenes. And so originally, in talking with Callie Curry, the director and everything, we were originally going to have Patsy be in one outfit kind of through all of the ghost scenes. But then it was when we started doing them, so the outfit we had picked didn't quite feel right, like being at the Ryman, because, you know, Loretta's on stage in her fabulous, you know, lace 70s dress. So we decided that the blue lace, you know, 60s dress for Patsy, those would be two, you know, it would look good together, the two of them in their beautiful lace dresses, you know, singing together that one last time.
I like that the lace dress came back. So, well, lastly, do you have a favorite Patsy and Loretta song?
I love Coal Miner's Daughter for Loretta, because that's just, you know, her iconic song, and I just love that one. And Patsy, I love I Fall to Pieces. You know, it's just all of her voice is so amazing, and everything, all of her songs are amazing.
Awesome. All right, Leigh. Well, thank you so much for taking
All right,
the time.
thank you.
I'll see you back here in a little bit.
All righty. Thank you.